Warning. Disclaimer. These videos were recorded during lockdown, and please you all stay safe, okay? Now let's get to the video right now! Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Anime Podcast Show. This is episode 5. Let's see what I can talk about for this episode. So for this first segment is what anime shows I got into during the COVID pandemic. Well, in the beginning of May, I was so interested of this particular series, but it's an old series, but this show's been on for about 25 plus years, and the show I'm talking about is Neon Genesis Evangelion. Neon Genesis Evangelion is a mecha anime series produced by Gainax, directed by Hideaki Anno, and broadcast on TV Tokyo from October 1995 to March of 1996. The series is taking place 15 years after the events of the Second Impact. The Earth is under attack from unknown untitles called Angels, a specialized organization for the defense of humanity, known as NERV. Gendo Ikari is the leader of NERV and the giant robots who defends the Earth to defeating angels called Evangelion, or shorten it, Eva. The show aired 26 episodes, and also with the 26 episode run, it was a controversy after the last 2 episodes, because you guys know what happened with Gainax, and also fans gave death threats to Hideaki Anno and the staff at Gainax. So what the studio wants to do, what they decide to do, so what they did is they did a recap feature film, a Death and Rebirth movie, and a new movie is the alternative ending for Evangelion. We knew that second movie is the end of Evangelion. And we know that that's the real ending for the show itself. But some fans were saying, oh, it's not a good ending like we expected. But still, it's still one of the best anime movies of all time. In 1997, Gainax released Evangelion Death and Rebirth movie. But over 60 minutes of footage that was being used from the first 26 episodes from the series, with additional scenes that never got used from the series itself, until the release date in the same year was the end of Evangelion movie. Is it true ending of the series? I don't know. Like I said, the end of Evangelion is acclaimed as one of the best anime movies of all time, and now, well, back in the day, in 1996, ADV Films has the license to dub the series. And if you guys know or didn't know, that from 1996 to 1998, they dubbed the series during 2 years of period. But nonetheless, Evangelion became one of ADV's most popular titles and one of the higher regard dubs until 2003. ADV is getting dubbed director's cut of episodes 21 and 24. That means required ADV cast. Some of them came back to voice their characters again. And also, due to recordings back then in 1998, they did a vocal additionals for the remastered to their dub. Some of them wasn't available at the time they were recording it for the director's cut back in 2003 to record their lines. And that means that they were recast. But you know what? It turns out incredible. With the cast, some of them came back, but most of them didn't. But hey, we still got a great dub though. In 2002, Hideaki Anno began working on a new Evangelion story, so he decided to reboot the series and turn it into a theatrical movie, and it's called Rebuild of Evangelion. After the first movie came out in 2007, the story is going to continue for 3 more movies from 2009, 2012, and also this year, 2021, with 2.0, 3.0, and 3.1. And all of those movies turns out a big box office success. But then in 2008, Funimation acquired the license for the movies. And that means we are getting the English dub for the 4 movies. Until now, 3 movies are being released already. But the last one, well, technically right now, I don't know if Amazon Prime is going to be releasing the English dub, bringing the English cast together. I don't know. From the rebuild movies? Who the hell knows? Because I didn't know nothing because of the non-disclosure agreements for the cast. So we don't know that if it's going to be happening or not. Well, we'll wait till when August 13th, y'all. In 2018, Netflix acquired the license of the original series and the movies. The movies I'm talking about is Death and Rebirth and The End of Evangelion. As well, until when it comes out, it became a big controversy. Like, the original cast are going to be returning, the music, and the translation. It was horrible. In the Netflix version, the English dub cast were mostly recast. None of them didn't came back. Well, I've heard rumors saying that they auditioned for it. But after 25 years, they dubbed these goddamn characters, and hey, why don't they just bring them back or play a new character that they never played before in the world of Evangelion? What the hell? The production was dubbed by VSILA in the new dub. They made several changes regardless to the old dub of the relevant, which made it more accurate to the Japanese. Oh man, that is the full history of the Evangelion story. What was the reason was my interest of the series? Well, before then, about January of 2020, I saw something that on Instagram that Sumanova, one of the Australian conventions, they were going to bring the original cast from the series to come to Sydney for a convention. So meaning Shinji, Rei, and Asuka's original voice actors, they were originally going to come to Sydney in June of last year. Of course, in 2020, we were in a freaking pandemic, and we didn't know that the pandemic's going to happen. My original plan was going to watch the series in May, and that was true. I did watch it. Then in June for Sumanova, I was going to meet them in person, but of course, COVID happened. So didn't get the chance to meet them, so that sucks for me. Before we move on to the next segment of the show, I want to tell you some fun facts about you guys don't know about Evangelion. Let's gonna go from further to backwards. I'm gonna say that. So the fun fact is, in 2005, Adult Swim acquired the series to air the series, but 2 years earlier, Cartoon Network in 2003, they got the license for a little bit. They aired it on Toonami, and they aired it for the Giant Robot Week, 1 week only, airing different robot shows like Astro Boy and Robotech and much more they showed. But now let's go more early years of Evangelion. Well, in 1999, from January to June of 99, Australia is the only country to broadcast the series in SBS before the US had their full official broadcast run on television. That's a little fun fact you didn't know about Evangelion. So let's move on to the next segment of the anime podcast show. Well, of course, it's going to be Topic of the Week. So for this episode's Topic of the Week is what anime shows deserves an anime adaptation, live action, movies, or a TV series. We all know in the anime community know about live action adaptations. It goes horribly wrong, but there's some good live action adaptations out there, such as the Rurouni Kenshin movies, the Alita Battle Angel film, the Bleach Netflix movie that came out. Well, I'm not here talking about the best or the worst live action movies. I'm here talking about what anime shows should get their own adaptation. So here's my top 10 list of what anime shows should get a better adaptation, what the manga says. Alright, for number 10. Man, this is the most toughest list I ever come up with. But this is a difficult one to start with, but I want to start with Yu-Gi-Oh! With an overwhelming story, I have to give this to the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. It's gonna be tough to make a movie like this, because they have to adapt right and properly what does the manga says. So maybe I would like to see how they're going to start the film and how they're going to start the Yu-Gi-Oh! World. I would say is adapt 2 stories or or maybe 2 arcs each of each film, or 1. I don't know. But here's what I would like to see. But like what Toei did for the 1998 version of the 2 arcs, the school arc and the Death T arcs. But both of those arcs are a abridged version from the manga. But I would like to see how to make the monsters like more holographic, as you saw in the commercials or the fan films or something like that. If they will make 1 or 2 arcs in one single film, I would say for the first movie, they will, like I said, they will adapt the school arc, the introduction arc, introduce Yugi and other characters we know from the series, and the Death T arc. And then maybe use a bit of a plot point from the monster arc. The Monster World arc? Well, who the hell knows? And then I would like to see right after that, after those arcs, and then we move on to the Duelist Kingdom arc. But I would say for the Duelist Kingdom arc, that will be adapted as for a TV series, and use like a lot of dark moments throughout the what the manga says, and also seeing Yugi and Pegasus battling in, well, we're not gonna call it Shadow Realm like what the dub says, but I would like to see that happen if they're gonna do it. And after that, I would like to see a Battle City arc get adapted as a TV series as well, a live action a TV adaptation, and then after that, maybe we'll just move on to a theatrical film for a Battle City Finals arc, like seeing Yugi and Merrick on the big screen, dueling and also fighting for the world, I'm gonna say. And then after that, we'll just move on to the Dawn of the Duel stuff. So maybe it'll be half of a movie, half of a TV series. So what I would like to see is half of the first half of the story will be adapted as a TV series for like maybe about like 5 episodes or 6, I don't know. And then they'll cut into a more theatrical movie, I would say. Maybe like 1 movie or something. I don't know. I think that's what would be my prediction if they will make it for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Series or a movie. Oh, I don't know. Now let's move on to number 9. Another one I have to give this to for number 9 is Tower of God. You all know about Tower of God. It's a webtoon series, and also it's almost been a decade of this story. So also this series got an anime adaptation, and I like the anime version, but in my mind I was like, would they make a better adaptation for live action? I don't know. I would love to see how they will adapt part 1 to start with, because that's the beginning of the story, and the beginning we see Bomb and the other characters we met in the series. I would like to see this adaptation as a live action TV series, but maybe. Well, I know people will criticize of the casting and everything else of the whitewashing thing we had in the past for past anime live action adaptations, so I cannot talk more about Tower of God. Now let's move on to number 8. I know people will get upset about this, but if they will make it right, or it's the most biggest mistake they've ever done for a adaptation, but I have to give this to Demon Slayer. Yep. Get mad at me. Get mad at me. We all know about the biggest box office success for the Mugen Train movie. I think now Demon Slayer, maybe it's going to be a turnaround, because it'll be like a big Hollywood big screen adaptation. I don't know. I would say it will take place in 1912 or 1926 during the Taisha era, but maybe as a style from the modern era. Well, we'll see this in the future for Demon Slayer. I don't know if they'll make a better adaptation for Demon Slayer. Well, who the hell knows. Now let's move on to number 7. I heard this rumor way back in 2013 to make an adaptation from this incredible series called Trigun. What do I say about Trigun? If you don't know about Trigun, it started with the manga adaptation from 1996 to 2008 and made an anime adaptation. Never got success in Japan, but it did get success internationally. That's pretty good. The character of Trigun, named Vash the Stampede, a young tall man with a spiky blonde hair and earring, bright red trench coat, and looking for trouble, and his bounty is over wealth, $60 billion double dollars. So maybe Hollywood will adapt this show, sometime. I don't know. This show is absolutely crazy anime with the over-the-top characters and crazy action sequences. And I would say they will have to make a more gritty and more realistic movie adaptation by changing up the pacing of the film, but the story is too complex and too over the top of the characters, and also what the audience's reaction is going to see. And I think people were not going to see it coming like that. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Maybe they'll westernize the story, but like I said, who the hell knows if they're going to make it or not in the near future. Now let's move on to number 6. A story of an epic time travel, demons, and collecting jewels. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Inuyasha. Inuyasha is one of the most popular series of all time. If people will love to see Inuyasha on the big screen as an anime live-action adaptation, well, if they will make an adaptation on Inuyasha, I would like to see as a trilogy, or maybe as a 6-part story. I don't know. The overlong fantasy saga story could be adapted either from the US or in Japan. Or if a Western studio will adapt the live action series or a movie, they'll have to use Asian actors. I don't know how they will adapt it, but we shall see. But how they're gonna put Kagome, Inuyasha, Sangha, Moroku, and Shippo, how they're gonna bring their characters into a live action version. How the hell they're gonna do that? We don't know. Let's move on to number 5. This show, I have to talk about, it's going to be surrounding of a controversy, I'm going to say. The reason why I'm saying it's going to be a controversy, because it's going to be difficult to work on. But I'm talking about Berserk. What do I say about Berserk? The best fantasy saga in Japan. This is the untwisted crazy story in the manga and anime history. If they will adapt this as a movie or a TV series, I would like to start with adapting the trilogy movie first, like what the anime did, but do a live-action version to kick off with the Golden Age arc for an adaptation, and then move to a live-action television series and continues where the movie took place, kicking off with the Black Swordsman arc, then continue by then. And then maybe for a live-action a television version, I would like to see the Covenant arc be adapted for a TV series. And then and then go back to the movie side, it will be a Falcon of the Millennium Empire arc. But that's going to be a 3-part story, or maybe it's going to be a 4-part story. I don't know. I do not read the manga for Berserk. And then maybe we'll be moving on back to the television for live action of the Fantasia arc. And then the story will get progressive, something like that. I don't know. It's a crazy story. If they will adapt it, I would like to see an adaptation such as a Lord of the Rings style, maybe. But that's gonna be my take for that. Now let's move on to number 4. Now I can talk about shows already been adapted for a live action movie, but maybe doing it right if there's some upcoming projects for live action. Well, I've heard most of them are in pre-production, development. A few shows already been filmed. Maybe one's going to be coming up very soon. I don't know. But let's talk about it. But maybe should make a better adaptation. But I want to start with JoJo Bizarre Adventure. Well, JoJo Bizarre Adventure already made an adaptation, but it made in Japan. But it didn't make a box office success. That's what they wanted to do for a best adaptation for JoJo, but it turns out it didn't make success. And they adapted the Diamond is Unbreakable arc, not the beginning of the story. I would like to see it, but it's hard to adapt a story like a legendary show as JoJo is. Now let's move on to number 3. Oy, oy, oy. I have to talk about this now. Oh my gosh. But I'm talking about the worst movies ever got made from Japan. But I heard they're gonna make a remake of this particular series. But I am talking about Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is the most popular series of all time. It had made 4-season adaptation of the anime. It also made 2 theatrical live-action movies, but it didn't make success. Actually, though, not with the release around the world, there is an English dub version of the live-action movie back in 2016. The dub is not too bad, because the reason why it's not too bad, because they bring the original cast back from the show. That is really incredible, and I'm very happy they bring the original English dub cast back. But the movie itself, no good. I hate it. But hopefully one day, for the remake, it will be incredible, and using the source material right. Now let's move on to number 2. Another show already got an adaptation, but making it, I'm talking about, is Promised Neverland. First, we already had a Japanese film adaptation for Promised Neverland, and adapted the first arc, but never got the chance to see it. But I don't know how it did. Did it make success, or maybe it didn't? I don't know. If they made an adaptation right, but I don't know. I don't know how did it turn out. I don't know. But another adaptation is coming, and it's going to be produced by Amazon Studios. And it's going to be a live-action TV series making the English version of Promised Neverland. I don't know how they're going to produce it, but I don't know how they... I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be good, or maybe it's going to be bad. I don't know. But hopefully they will adapt it right. I don't know. Now let's move on to number 1. But number 1, I'm very happy about to talk about, and it's going to be coming on Netflix very soon. For number 1, before Netflix got the license, 20th Century Fox had the license for this incredible series. I'm calling it Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop is a successful series, if it only made for the Western audience. In 2008, regarding a rumor for a live-action Cowboy Bebop movie in development by 20th Century Fox into 2009, Sunrise, who produced and animated the series, said that they were closely involving for the development of the English version project. But the movie didn't go through what they wanted to do. The film went through development hell for a while until 2017. Tomorrow Studios is gonna make an American adaptation of the Cowboy Bebop series. Until a year later, Netflix got the license for the TV series. And it's gonna be releasing in the fall of 2021. And I'm so happy what they're gonna do with it. So this is my opinion about the live action adaptations. Is going to be great or worse or even better or not so great. But I think this is going to be the wrap up for this episode for my anime podcast show. Thanks for listening and watching. If you guys got any suggestions or topics I can talk about or shows I can talk about as well, but let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe to my channel, and I got some more interesting stuff I can talk about, and more interesting things are coming up throughout the show. So catch you guys down the road, and catch you guys later. Peace.